Welcome to World Fact Finder. In this episode, we will discuss 50 mind-blowing, random, and utterly amazing facts you never knew, Part 3. Let's get started. Number 1. Banging your head against a wall for 1 hour burns 150 calories. If you're not keen on losing brain cells, you might want to skip this calorie-burning idea. A much safer way to burn 150 calories is to take your dog for a 45-minute walk. However, if you don't have a dog, a slow-paced walk for 53 minutes will also burn off the same amount of calories. Number 2. In Switzerland, it is illegal to own just one guinea pig. While this may sound like an odd law to try and enforce, it makes perfect sense. Guinea pigs are social animals and easily feel lonely or depressed, which is basically a form of animal cruelty. The real question you should be asking is why this isn't a law everywhere. Number 3. The color orange was actually named after oranges. Before oranges arrived in England in the late 15th century, there was no word for the color. It was referred to as geolucrog, yellow saffron, or geolureid, yellow-red, depending on the shade. Number 4. Snakes can predict earthquakes. Many animals are able to predict earthquakes to varying levels of success. Yet, snakes are the most reliable, sensing earthquakes from as far as 75 miles away, 121 kilometers. They can even sense an earthquake 5 days before it actually occurs. When snakes sense an earthquake, they often leave their nests, even if the temperature is too cold. Number 5. Crows often hold grudges against specific people. Crows are excellent at recognizing people's faces and are able to remember people for a long time. This can be either a negative or positive fact, depending on how nice you are to them. While crows can tell us apart, we would find it difficult to distinguish one crow from another. Number 6. The oldest "your mom" joke was discovered on a 3,500-year-old Babylonian tablet. In 1976, archaeologists discovered a tablet in Iraq, which has since been lost. However, researchers were able to analyze and translate the text from a photograph of the tablet. The results? We know that the tablet does indeed contain jokes, but the full meaning has been lost in translation. The translated form of the world's oldest "your mom" joke is, "of your mother," is by the one who has intercourse with her. What? Who is it? Do we understand it? Not a chance, but we recognize a "your mom" joke when we see one. Number 7. You get goosebumps when you're scared to make yourself look bigger. If you look at a cat that's facing off against a dog, you'll often see its hair standing on edge, but you don't see the goosebumps hidden underneath their fur, which they also get when they're scared. Goosebumps are a reaction to increased adrenaline, which is why we get goosebumps when cold or emotional. Although we don't really need them now, our ancestors would have needed them when facing off against large beasts before the age of humanity began. Number 8. May 29th is officially Put a Pillow on Your Fridge Day. The roots of this odd-sounding holiday go back hundreds of years, starting in the early 1900s. Back then, people didn't have refrigerators and instead would hang a piece of cloth in their larders. It's believed that doing so brought luck, peace, and prosperity to the household. The tradition adapted over time to fit the modern kitchen. Nowadays, families worldwide place a pillow on top of their fridge every year on May 29th. Number 9. Cherophobia is the irrational fear of fun or happiness. Do you hate all things fun? You might have cherophobia. People with this phobia tend to avoid any kind of situation that others might classify as fun or joyful. Number 10. 7% of American adults believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. I know that 7% doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually works out at 16.4 million American adults, which is an alarming fact. This shows that 1 in 10 Americans has a flawed understanding of basic science or where their food comes from. Number 11. If you lift a kangaroo's tail off the ground, it can't hop. Kangaroos use their tails for balance while hopping. If you elevate their tail, they will lose balance and fall over. There are cases where kangaroos have lost their tails and can still move around, but it took them a long time to adjust, and they can only move small distances at a time. Their tails aren't only for balance, they also act as a third leg, propelling them forward just as much as their legs do. Number 12. Bananas are curved because they grow towards the sun. Philosophers have pondered the shape of bananas for a long time, arguing until the sun goes down as to why they're curved. Bananas go through a process called negative geotropism. This process causes the fruit to grow upwards toward the sun instead of the ground. This, in turn, gives the banana its familiar curved shape. Number 13. Most Korean people don't have armpit odor. Research at the University of Bristol found that only 0.006% of the Korean population has the ABCC11 gene, which causes armpit odor. In fact, the study found that most East Asians don't have this gene, but Koreans have the lowest numbers. While this may be surprising to us, it's not big news in Korea, as deodorant isn't commonly found there. Number 14. The original London Bridge is now in Arizona. Originally constructed in 1831, the London Bridge began deteriorating in the 1960s, leading the City of London to sell it. In 1963, American entrepreneur Robert P. McCulloch bought and dismantled the bridge, shipping it to Lake Havasu City in Arizona piece by piece. The reconstruction took 3 years to complete and opened as a tourist attraction on October 10, 1971. Number 15. During your lifetime, you will produce enough saliva to fill 50 bathtubs. The average person produces roughly 1 ounce, 30 milliliters of saliva every hour. That's 24.3 ounces, 720 milliliters, or 1 full wine bottle's worth of saliva a day, which is an average of 69 gallons, 263 liters, per year. With the average global life expectancy being about 72 years, this means that you produce an average of 4,968 gallons, 18,936 liters, of saliva in your lifetime, enough to fill 50 bathtubs. Number 16. If Pinocchio said, "My nose will grow now," it would create a paradox. As we all know, whenever Pinocchio lies, his nose grows longer. But there's one sentence that Pinocchio could say that breaks this system, which is, "My nose will grow now." This conundrum is known as the Pinocchio paradox. If you think about it, Pinocchio's nose would have to grow to make his statement not a lie. But then it can't grow. Otherwise, the statement would not be a lie. Number 17. Polar bears could eat as many as 10 penguins in a single sitting. If they didn't live at opposite ends of the Earth, polar bears live in the Arctic, whereas most common penguins, such as Adelie or emperor penguins, live in the South Pole. With an average weight of 500 pounds, 227 kilograms, and consuming approximately 20% of their weight per meal, polar bears can devour around 100 pounds of food at once, meaning they would need to consume 10 daily penguins to feel satisfied. Number 18. Car manufacturer Volkswagen makes sausages. Most people know Volkswagen for their iconic line of camper vans and the Beetle. A lesser-known product that comes out of Volkswagen's factories is currywurst sausages. Initially, the sausages were made for their factory workers in a remote location. However, they gained such popularity that Volkswagen now sells more sausages than they do cars. Number 19. Movie trailers were originally shown after the movie, which is why they're called trailers. The world's first movie trailer was shown at a theater in Harlem, New York, in 1914. The trailer promoted an upcoming movie featuring Charlie Chaplin. The audience would watch the trailer after the movie had ended. The trailers showing after the film was ineffective, as the audience wouldn't stay to watch them. Number 20. Hawaiian pizza is a Canadian invention. First things first, we're not discussing whether ham and pineapple belong on a pizza or not. Sam Panopoulos, a Greek immigrant and chef, introduced this unique combination of canned pineapple and pizza in 1962. Inspired by Chinese sweet and sour cooking, he introduced it at the Satellite Restaurant in Ontario. Despite initial skepticism, Hawaiian pizza gained popularity worldwide once people tried it. Interestingly, it's named after the brand of canned pineapples used, not Hawaii itself. Number 21. The smallest bone in your body is in your ear. Known as the stapes bone, this tiny bone is, on average, 0.09 times 0.11 inches, 3 times 2.5 millimeters, in size. The stapes bone can be found in the middle ear of humans and many other animals. It is vital in transferring vibrations from sounds into the inner ear. Number 22. Tennis players can be fined up to $20,000 for swearing while playing at Wimbledon. It doesn't stop there, though. If players swear once before or during a match, they're fined and given a warning. The second time it happens in one match, they may lose a point. On the third, they may lose a game. Then, finally, they can lose the whole match if they swear 4 times. Number 23. Only 5% of the ocean has been explored. The ocean covers around 70% of the Earth's surface, and it is much harder to explore than land. As much as 20% of the ocean floor has now been mapped, thanks to advancements in sonar technologies. The reason we've explored so little of the ocean is that the technology needed has only developed over the last 100 years. Number 24. Most people fart around 14 to 23 times a day. While passing wind may sometimes be embarrassing, it's perfectly natural. By knowing what you eat, you can fart less often and prevent them from being too smelly. The foods most linked to farting include beans, broccoli, milk, and corn. Other high-fiber foods such as fruit, peas, or cabbage can increase the amount of gas you pass. Number 25. There is a species of spider called the hobo spider. The hobo spider, Eratogena agrestis, can be found in various places around the world, including Europe, Central Asia, and parts of Western North America. This crafty little critter doesn't live in a standard spider web. Instead, it constructs a funnel made of web in the ground and waits for its prey to stumble into it. Number 26. A lion's roar can be heard from 5 miles away. A lion can roar as loud as 114 decibels, roughly 25 times louder than a gas-powered lawnmower. Lions can roar louder than other big cats because of the shape of their vocal cords. This allows them to produce more noise with less effort. Number 27. St. Lucia is the only country in the world named after a woman. The island has been continuously inhabited since at least 200 AD, but wasn't discovered by Europeans until the 16th century. Legend states that French sailors were shipwrecked on December 13, 1502, and became stranded on the island. As December 13th is St. Lucy's Day, they named the island in honor of her. Number 28. The national animal of Scotland is a unicorn. Unicorns, symbolizing purity and power, have been present in various cultures since the Middle Ages, including Celtic mythology. In the mid-1500s, the unicorn was introduced to the royal coat of arms of Scotland, representing the natural enemy of England's national animal, the lion. Since the 1707 Union of England and Scotland, the royal arms of the United Kingdom include a unicorn and a lion, displaying unity between the two countries. Number 29. The United States Navy used Xbox controllers for their periscopes. In 2018, the U.S. Navy equipped its submarines with Xbox 360 controllers. The control sticks for periscopes are expensive and difficult to master, so the U.S. Navy began installing Xbox 360 controllers, which were much cheaper. It's not all about cost, though. Many periscope operators have used Xbox controllers in the past, so they can easily transfer their skills. Number 30. The word burrito means little donkey in Spanish. Burritos originated in the Mexican state of Guanajuato. The first mention of them was in a dictionary in 1895, which described them as a rolled tortilla with meat and other things inside. Unfortunately, there's no explanation as to why burritos were named after donkeys, or why they're specifically named after little donkeys. Number 31. A baby octopus is about the size of a flea when it is born. When an octopus first lays its eggs, they're smaller than a grain of rice. The eggs are so delicate, they have to be constantly watched over. When the baby octopuses emerge from their eggs, they come out fully formed but tiny. They weigh only 0.001 ounces, 0.03 grams. You'd think this would make them hard to see, but since eggs are laid by the tens of thousands, they're easily spotted. Number 32. In 1783, the very first hot air balloon took off with a sheep, a duck, and a rooster on board. The Montgolfier brothers, who invented the hot air balloon, were inspired by their laundry lifting from a fire's heat. The inaugural flight took animal passengers, as it was unknown how flying at high altitudes would affect humans. The animal passengers landed safely, but the sheep ended up on top of the rooster. Number 33. In Uganda, around 48% of the population is under 15 years of age. Uganda has a total population of 44.3 million. This means that there are around 20 million people under the age of 15 living there. In total, 77% of the population is under the age of 30. One of the reasons this number is so high is that the population is rapidly expanding. There were just 5 million people in Uganda in 1950. Number 34. On average, men get bored of a shopping trip after 26 minutes. Meanwhile, women don't get tired of shopping until around 2 hours have passed. On top of this, it's been found that 8 in 10 men hate shopping with their partner. Men who are promised a treat at the end of a joint shopping trip are likelier to pretend to enjoy shopping with their partner for longer. Number 35. In the 16th century, Turkish women could initiate divorce if their husbands didn't provide enough coffee. This would be unheard of today, but coffee was an integral part of Turkish society back then. It was introduced into the country in the 15th century, and by the 16th century, they had mastered the art of coffee. It seems that coffee was so popular that it became grounds for divorce. No one knows why exactly this became law, but the fact remains that it did. Number 36. Recycling just one tin can saves enough energy to watch television for 3 hours. That's how important recycling is. In fact, recycling an aluminum can into a new one takes only 5% of the energy required to produce one normally. The average person has the chance to recycle 25,000 cans in their lifetime. That's 75,000 hours of television. Number 37. After the premiere of 16 and Pregnant, teen pregnancy rates dropped. MTV may not have the most wholesome shows, but teen pregnancy dropped by 5.7% within 18 months of the show's premiere. While this sounds like a success story, the TV show has been criticized for glamorizing teenage pregnancy. Instead of focusing on genuine issues, they focus more on the drama between the parents. Number 38. Squirrels cause approximately 10 to 20% of U.S. power outages. Harmless and cute as they seem, these fuzzy little creatures aren't as innocent as you think. Squirrels tend to chew things, but combine this with power lines, and there's going to be a problem. Squirrel-induced blackouts are much smaller and easier to fix than a blackout caused by a storm, as generally, there's just one cable to repair. There's only so much damage one squirrel can do. Number 39. China has banned popular social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. They have a strict online censorship system known as the Great Firewall of China. Pinterest, Tumblr, and over 8,000 domain names are also blocked. However, there are Chinese-owned alternatives, such as TikTok, Weibo, and WeChat, that people in China use for social media. Number 40. 95% of people text things they could never say in person. There's something about saying things over text instead of in person that allows us to speak more honestly, even if a little too honest at times. While this often ends up in sticky situations, it has its benefits too. Psychologists have found that their patients can open up to them more by texting. They still talk face-to-face with patients, but for some, it can help with their progress. Number 41. Honeybees can recognize human faces. For a long time, we believed that only large-brained mammals could distinguish faces. But the humble honeybee shook that theory up. Bees can distinguish between many different flowers, so it was theorized that they might tell people apart. Scientists discovered that honeybees could recognize a familiar face, even days after being trained to do so. Fun fact: bees see faces in a compilation of 5,000 individual images, kind of like pixels. Number 42. The Battle of Hastings didn't actually take place in Hastings. In 1066, the Battle of Hastings was fought between the English forces under King Harold Godwinson and the Norman and French troops under William the Conqueror. The battle is commonly known today as the deciding point in the Norman conquest of England. Despite the name, the actual battle took place 7 miles, 11 kilometers, away from Hastings, in a town now known as Battle. Number 43. Human blood cells have different lifespans. Red blood cells circulate in the human body for about 4 months. In comparison, white blood cells range from a few hours to several days. Platelets circulate the body for about 9 days. Platelets are cells that circulate our blood, and they bind together when they find damaged blood vessels. Number 44. A swarm of 20,000 bees followed a car for 2 days as their queen was trapped inside. A 68-year-old grandmother returning from a nature reserve was shocked to find her car covered in bees after the queen bee got stuck. The bees were safely removed, and the lovely old lady made her way home. However, much to her surprise, the bees were back the next day. It seems that the queen bee was still stuck inside, and the bees followed her the whole way home. This time, they were all removed, and they, fortunately, didn't return. Number 45. Eating carrots can turn your skin orange. Carrots are full of the natural pigment beta-carotene. This pigment is what gives carrots their vibrant orange color. If you eat an excessive amount of carrots, beta-carotene can enter your bloodstream, giving your skin an orange glow. The medical name for this condition is carotenemia. While it's not one of the best things to have, it's generally harmless. Number 46. Bob Dylan's birth name was Robert Zimmerman. When Bob Dylan was fresh out of high school, he chose the stage name Elston Gunn, but this didn't stick for long. For a while, he went by his first and middle name, Robert Allen, but that didn't feel right either. Eventually, he came up with the name Bob Dylan, and officially changed his name to this on August 2nd, 1962. Nobody knows why he chose this name, but many people, including Dylan himself, have told different stories over the years. Number 47. A crocodile can't poke its tongue out. Crocodiles cannot stick their tongues out because it's attached to the roof of their mouths. While this may not seem very practical, it's actually quite convenient for crocodiles. It means that they can't bite their tongues while snapping their powerful jaws together. Number 48. Sea otters hold hands when they sleep, so they don't drift away from each other. While it may look like a couple of otters being adorable, it's actually a life-saving strategy. This technique is commonly seen with mothers and their pups. That's a baby otter. Another way they stay still in choppy seas is by grabbing onto long strands of kelp that grow up from the seabed. Number 49. A small child could swim through the veins of a blue whale. We all know blue whales are enormous, but this puts it into a whole new perspective. The largest animals on the planet, blue whales, can grow as large as 100 feet, 30 meters long, and weigh up to 150 tons, 152,407 kilograms. Their hearts are obviously huge, too, about the same size as a small car. So it's no surprise that a child of 3 or 4 could swim with ease through a blue whale's massive veins. Number 50. The word yawl dates back to at least 1631. Whether you like it or not, the shortening of you all to yawl is here to stay. For a long time, people believed the term originated sometime in the 18th or 19th centuries, but in fact, it's been in use for much longer. In 1631, English scholar William Lisle wrote the following in a book on Ethiopian history: "The captive men of strength I gave to you, the weaker souled, and this y'all know is true." Thanks for watching. Like and comment if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications so you don't miss the next interesting facts. See you in our next video.